Match, Logan performed a visually spectacular springboard moonsault onto Knight, who was standing outside of the ring. Logan had a truly horrific landing, and without hesitation, Knight broke character to check on Logan. This was the correct thing to do, and Knight once again showed the world that he's a total pro in the ring. Now, this wasn't the only time in the well-received match where Knight broke character, as a top rope superplex saw Logan have yet another unfortunate landing, and Knight once again, which Lesnar delivered a devastating F5 onto Austin Theory from the top of the chamber pod. This spot looked like something out of a WWE video game, and naturally, due to the dangers of the spot, there was a major concern that Theory could have been seriously hurt. Lesnar was incredibly careful with Theory after the spot, and Lesnar even hid his face for a brief second during the pin attempt, and this was likely the exact moment that Lesnar was making sure that Theory was okay. But Lesnar didn't stop there, as when he was exiting the chamber structure after winning the match, Lesnar informed the referee that he needed to go back into the structure to ensure that Theory Paul is still extremely new to the crazy world of pro wrestling. This means that his opponents must work carefully with him to make sure that he's safe in the ring. Now, this isn't to say that Logan is poor in the ring, as that simply isn't the case. It's just a case that Logan often goes too high risk and sometimes has rather.
और अभी तो रुको, क्लाइमैक्स अभी बाकी है.
There's no arguing that kayfabe and staying in character is important in wrestling. Sometimes a wrestler's safety and well-being becomes the focus, and the wrestler is forced to break character. This was the case in 2002 as Kevin Nash was injured in a major match on Raw. During a 10-man tag match, Nash was tagged in, and after performing some basic moves, Nash charged at Bubba Ray Dudley, who was on the apron. However, upon doing this, Nash fell into the ground and Nash completely tore his quad. The match was quickly changed on the fly so Nash could receive immediate medical attention. Bubba Ray Dudley was phenomenal following the injury, as he didn't just break character to make sure Nash was okay, he even spoke to Nash in the corner and virtually shielded him from further action. Bubba Ray has always been known for keeping kayfabe intact, yet even he realized that his response match received rave reviews, yet there were some close calls with spots in the match that could have led to a serious injury. During one spot in the match, Peyton Royce flipped over the ropes onto Bayley and Sasha Banks. As Royce was coming down, it became apparent that Bayley was going to be kicked in the head, so at the last second, Banks smartly put a hand in Bayley's face to cushion the blow. Although Bayley and Banks weren't opponents in the match, this save was great to see, and Bayley instantly checked on Banks to make sure that she was okay. When it comes to Royce, when she moved Bayley ahead of the next spot, she managed to get extremely close to her face, so this was likely the point in which Royce just wanted to check on her opponent and perhaps apologize for the rough landing. Number 2. John Cena Extreme Rules 2011. John Cena had a reputation for calling spots during his full-time run in WWE, yet Cena was also known for being safe in the ring and making sure his opponents were at ease at all times. The highlight of the match saw Morrison deliver a Starship Pain onto Cena and Miz from the top of the steel cage. The spot looked brutal, and Cena, who's the ring general in the match, would purposely land on top of Morrison following the spot, and this allowed Cena to check on him. This was extremely brief, and once Cena was aware that Morrison was perfectly okay, Cena moved away from him, went all out for the match, and the match featured a spot which saw HBK deliver a moonsault from the ropes onto the dead man, who was lying prone on the announce table. HBK's in-ring skills are well established, and due to the danger of the spot, HBK had a genius way of making sure The Undertaker was okay. After landing, HBK would adjust his position, and he did this in order to get closer to The Undertaker and the referee. He did this in such a smart way, and it looked as if he was selling both the impact as well as taking in the high of the momentum of the spot. This would allow him to not just check on The Undertaker when the camera cut to the replay, but he instantly would be able to overhear the conversation between The Undertaker and the referee. The reason that Lita is considered to be one of the greatest female wrestlers of all time, and even early on during a WWE run, she was consistently the best worker in the women's division. She went all out for the match, and the match featured a spot which saw HBK deliver a moonsault from the ropes onto the dead man, who was lying prone on the announce table. HBK's in-ring skills are well established, and due to the danger of the spot, HBK had a genius way of making sure The Undertaker was okay. After landing, HBK would adjust his position, and he did this in order to get closer to The Undertaker and the referee. He did this in such a smart way, and it looked as if he was selling both the impact as well as taking in the high of the momentum of the spot. This would allow him to not just check on The Undertaker when the camera cut to the replay, but he instantly would be able to overhear the conversation between The Undertaker